Start streaming.
I'm ready.
I think that's it. I think we're up now.
Excellent.
I believe that's just what happens for let's say that. I don't know, you see it.
Excellent connection, but we can't be seeing, so. Me check on my on my device and see if we are actually live. Here we are, bringing the energy. No. Oh,
We are.
We are now. Good evening, welcome.
Do you know what happened? If you saw last week, then you saw that it started us with not knowing if we've just almost done the same. A funny thing is, I went home and I went to watch H3, and they did exactly the same.
Oh,
Started with him, and he was like, "We're live now? Okay." And then he went, "I've already done this intro." And I thought, we've done that.
Yeah, we've been there, we've done that.
If H3 are still doing that, then okay, fair enough.
Well, I said last week, didn't I? We've just got to own the chaos because,
yes,
you know, we've been doing this a year now. And every single time I'm like, I'll be more organised next week. And I'm not, so.
Yeah, that's the first problem, isn't it? Do not promise yourself that next time will be perfect.
Or like kind of make it feel that because it's not perfect, it's not good enough, and that you're always striving for something more. This is it. This is as good as it gets.
Sad but true.
No, but I pulled a card, like, 'cause I've been trying to get more consistent with my tarot reading and stuff.
Yeah.
And I keep coming across the message of live in the moment.
Yes.
Like, this is all we've got, the here and now, right now. You know, be happy now, like, be happy. You're on your journey, you've got your aim and your destination, but this has still got to be really important. Like, the actual journey has got to be so important in terms of the happiness is here and now.
Yeah. I mean, think of all the things that you've achieved that are big that you thought, once I achieve that, my life will change.
Yeah.
How much did it change?
Even my list, I've always got a list, ticking things off. When the list is ticked off, I'll make another list and I'll start the process all over again. So just make sure you're enjoying everything, you know.
A good one for you would be your bus, right?
Yeah.
Buying the bus, learning to drive it, passing the test. That, before you did it, must have felt like the biggest mountain in ahead of you.
Yeah.
Now you've completed it all, you've done all that hard work. After that now, are you any happier?
Well, weirdly enough, because I've been contemplating this live in the moment card, yesterday I was genuinely thinking of the bus as an example that, yeah, of course, the ultimate goal is to be living in it with it all completed. But at the end of the day, owning a bus was the dream. I own a bus. I'm so happy about that. You know, it's like I've got it and I'm renovating it right now. I'm learning all these new skills. I'm getting to choose colour schemes from scratch. So it's kind of like, of course, you know, there's so much to be happy about in the moment. And I just have to think, if today was my last day, I'd be proud as punch of everything. So, you know, like, it just makes you realise that you've just got to kind of be grateful and enjoy what you've got right now.
It can be hard, right? I don't know if anyone saw the views on the last episode. By the end of the weekend, I was like, oh my God.
We had nearly 200 views.
And then we woke up, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
And it was down to about 50.
Yeah.
YouTube just took them all off of us. And I could see through the analytics that overnight, one of the nights, we'd got like 140 views or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it.
Yeah, we're being found.
And I thought that late at night as well, that would have been like America time. Like, oh, I'm planning the tour. Like, it's going to be amazing.
The thing is, though, I think they were genuine. YouTube has taken them off of us because it's saying that it's suspected fraudulent activity. But we know what that was because we have played the playlist in the background. Like, I work in a school. I put the playlist on in the background.
Yeah. When we do events, it kind of shows what we do if you project it in the background. So this idea of like
penalising through views.
Yeah, like we're not farming them by any chance.
No.
We're not like buying them from other people. I refuse to.
That's the thing, it happened, so. I
think we have Malias and Alexi in the chat.
Hey, girls.
Hey, girls. Oh, was that you?
You're here with us.
I need to give it a sight.
I hope that you're both okay and having a wonderful week. and enjoying the fact that it was a little bit brighter today. The sun was shining.
Yes, which is a lot better than yesterday. Because the last time I saw you, you invited for me for half a pint. I was a bit worried. I was like, is this the day she's caved? It's that sunny, or she's been through something this morning that's that stressful that you're like, I'm having a beer.
That's why I've got a tan. Someone said, Lou's brother said to me earlier, you look really brown. And I was like, oh, I have been out in the sun, and I couldn't put my finger on when it was, but it was Sunday. I was at Riverside Festival all day, and then at the pub, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really nice day.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Well, but when I say come out for a half, we were talking about before the cameras come on that I don't like to kind of go on about my sobriety too much, in the sense of I don't want people to think that I'm being smug about it. Kind of, or like so I still
with your alcohol.
Yeah. So I still use terms like, oh, you're coming for a half, because I was the only one sat with a beer. It was an alcohol-free beer, but everyone else had a Coke, didn't they? So
it made sense. I forget that you really enjoy these alcohol-free alternatives.
Yeah, I love the taste of beer, especially on a sunny day.
I saw a post recently that the people saying about, oh, what's the point, you can't get drunk, just highlights how much we miss as a culture the idea of alcohol. Like,
yeah.
This is supposed to have been brewed for taste. And you can't actually really convince anyone of that anymore, because they're all like, oh, it don't get you drunk. And it's like, it doesn't really matter, does it?
And that kind of says more about why you're drinking, doesn't it? Rather than why I'm drinking.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point? It's like, if I've got to explain the point to you, then you've already missed it. Like,
exactly. If you're like, I don't really like the taste of alcohol, but I'm necking it every weekend because I like the taste of it. Like, because I like the feeling that it gives me. Like,
what you find though, and what I never would have believed, is when you drink an alcohol-free beer, you still get the same kind of buzz. So there's I
actually want to find this out from other people. I know you find this, and I've heard it like there's like certain natural botanicals or something I've heard that are supposed to give you this natural high. Is it the atmosphere? Is it the? Please comment
what you think it is.
Yeah.
My theory is that my brain has had it's been wired for so long to associate having a beer with feeling a buzz, that just the taste and the atmosphere now kind of creates that same buzz.
It's that conditioning, right?
Yeah.
It's Pavlov's dog all over. You see a beer, you're like, good time.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, we're going to have fun.
Yeah. Realising you don't actually have to consume that beer. The association alone is enough to make you like in a good mood. I think that's wicked.
Yeah, no, well, it's opened up a whole new avenue of being able to party hard, because I wake up without hangover and I can go all over again. I can just keep going and going. It's great.
There's something kind of fun in not drinking and people being like, are you going to be able to keep up? And you're like, you've not met me, have you? Like, it's always been like half a year for me, and I'm loving not having to drink. I know that I can drive home.
Yeah, that's a bonus. And
it's such a huge bonus.
Yeah.
People forget. Like, you know, you're like, oh, it's all right, I'll just get a thing when you're like having a good time. Then it comes to the time where you actually have to try and get a taxi or stay at someone. Who's ever stayed at someone's house and you cannot find a cover? I feel like that was like a regular weekend thing for me when I get drunk. I'd be in some strange like house of someone's using like another mattress as a duvet or like sofa cushions or my coat, just like, I want to go home. I can't.
Yeah, that alone, that feeling, it's like I absolutely love when I leave a house party or the pub or whatever it is, and I'm driving home and it's not quite dark yet, the sun's setting and my music's on. That is a buzz, like. So I feel so free. I can drive wherever I want right now.
Yeah, definitely. My thing this month as well has been roller skating. So just keeping them in my car and having them with me whenever I can try and find somewhere. It's
just catching up with the chat. So, that's really nice to hear that. Melise, am I saying that right? You'll have to let me know if I'm saying your name right.
Melise sounds French.
It's a really cool name. Well, I love Melise and Alexi. You've both got my two favourite letters in there, a Z and an X, and my two favourite letters in the alphabet. So I love that you've both got my favourite letters in your names. But you've been waiting for the stream all day, so that's really nice to hear. We've been waiting to come on all day as well. I had to get boring old work out of the way first.
One day.
And Alexia's saying that she's too young to drink, but whenever she's gone to parties, she's noticed that people tend to drink the alcohol more if someone else brought it. because they don't want to waste it. Now, it's either because they don't want to waste it or it's because they're trying to get their money's worth. Like, oh, this was free, so I'm going to get this down my neck.
Yeah, ain't that funny? The other one as well is when you bring someone a bottle of wine and then you drink all of that.
Like you bring the wine for someone else, but you drink.
We'll have some of that though, because you get the nasty stuff. The one I brought, yeah. I remember a Come Dine With Me episode where
what a show.
the guy had like 2 bottles of wine or something, and then the people are showing up and they're not, and he was like, everyone brings a wine to a, I don't need to buy any. No one shows up with any wine because he all week did not bring any to anyone else's, because he's like, they've got the wine. If whole parts, whether he's hosting or not, he's like, they'll bring the wine.
No,
having to water down wine in jugs and put them in the fridge.
Oh no!
Shout out to that guy.
That is awful.
That must have been the funniest Come Dine With Me I've ever seen. We need to do Come Dine With Me. How does that sound to you?
That would be great. Loads of people have always said I should apply for the actual Come Dine With Me because I like
hilarious.
Well, I like cooking, but I always think I reckon they purposefully team you up. Like, they interview you first, don't they? And I'd be there saying, oh, you know, I'm really into empowering women's rights and mental health awareness. I'm really open-minded.
You'll get Nigel Farage again.
Yeah, so they will purposely put me with somebody that hates powerful women, that hates mental health talk, that thinks it's all. And the thing is, I am so like, I'd just be like, yeah, that's cool, that's your opinion, you know. But I just hate the idea that they would pitch me on purpose, for the sake of TV. It's like, no, thank you. It's just not worth it. But my favourite episode was when that girl got so drunk she fell asleep. And they had to cook the dinner for her. She went upstairs and collapsed on her bed and just passed out. Like, I mean, whether it was kind of like nerves that she drank so much beforehand, but they made their own dinner. Like, they found like what was like prepared, and you know.
Did she announce like, I'm just gonna go home and lay down? Or
no, I think they just found. I think they just found her upstairs. Like, she was a bit of a wreckhead anyway. But yeah, oh my god, how embarrassing! Like, how would you ever get over that?
Yeah, girls, don't be like that when you go to parties.
Oh, she's saying that you can call me Liz if it makes it easier. But I'm like, no, I want to get it right. So
yeah, I like a
Meliz. There we go.
Meliz.
Kind of reminds me of when we went to community festival and Calbea, was that her full name? But she was like, oh, everybody just calls me Cal. But then as we got chatting to her and got closer to her in terms of like friendship, she opened up that because people made such a fuss of not being able to pronounce her name, she just like shortened it to Cal to make it easier for other people. And I was like, no, that's like not right, is it?
It's really common, isn't it? One thing I hate, like if you found a way that it just helps you in social situations, just get past, because you feel like every time you say your name, you're having to like go deeper and deeper into it, then you do whatever's comfortable for you. Yeah. What I hate is when someone
does it for you,
white or whatever, will say, oh, can I call you? Because I can't be asked with the rest of your name. Yeah. Well, I'm never going to remember that. Can I call you? That's so rude. I'm like, of course you can, but then I'll be calling you a word I can't say because I want to stay monetized. It's too early in the stream.
I have to spell my name every time, like, because they'll say, is it Lindsey or Say? And I'm like, it's Lindzi, and I just feel like as though I'm making that up. Like,
I do it with my last name all the time, and they still write Simpson. Like S-I-B.
Oh,
sorry?
Right, yeah.
S-I-B. And I can see they're looking at the first name. I go, the last name. Every single time.
Yeah. I had a letter come through from the council once where they'd put my name down as Linsman. All one word. Like, it was an official council letter. We couldn't stop laughing. Like, it was years and years ago, and Taz had slept over. Oh my god. Because my name's Lindsay Ann. So I think on the phone call that when I'd said Lindsay Ann.
Oh, M's your middle name, isn't it?
Hey. Yeah.
M is your middle name.
Lindsay
so
Ann.
They just put.
Yeah, but there's no M in there. They just heard that, and then they just put it all down as Linsman. So yeah, it was just.
I thought it was May.
Yeah, that was my author pseudonym because I needed to separate it from school.
Okay.
You know,
so maybe they have that.
Yeah, nothing to do with it, and it certainly wasn't a thing back then.
I was today years old when you had actually already told me that I realised properly that your middle name doesn't have M in it.
Yeah, but it's because I'm born in May, so they were contemplating calling me May or Lindsay May. Should it be
That's
Lindsay
cute.
May or should it be Lindsay Ann? So Lindsay May Ann became my pseudonym. I never pronounce words right.
I don't want to correct that one because we lost Patreon or whatever it was called.
Oh, we've got
Yeah, to
Patreon.
maintain them.
We've got Lou in the chat. Still one of my fave stories, Lynn's man. Definitely told that story too many times. Won't it go on there? Like slotting that bit.
Loads. It just
Go. Need to mount it really, but
I know.
that
Yeah.
looks alright actually.
We'll be moving at some point. We'll actually be going back to.
Oh, I thought that said 37 then. I suppose we really want to get on with the
It has been a while, isn't it?
If
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Helps the algorithm, helps us, and we're really thankful.
It'll hopefully, help some more people see this whilst it's going, and we can have more people join us.
Do that now, and then we've got quite a full update. We've got Corey update from last week.
Can you believe that Mark knew him?
Oh my word!
One of our viewers.
What are the chances of that? Like, I actually know this guy. His name's Corey, and I thought, oh my god, like he's connected to. You know, it's that thing with 6 degrees of separation or whatever.
Yeah.
If you know Mark, it's only 3.
Yeah. So one of our viewers. So when I said as well, I'm really. I love our American viewers. We've got quite a few that comment and get involved.
Yeah.
One of them knew the guy that we'd featured. Like, how bizarre is that?
Because I didn't even know that it was in Michigan. What I thought, because I originally saw the news thing on a Tampa Bay news thing, so I just assumed Florida. But I'm realizing Florida and Michigan kind of on the same level with how crazy this is. It's just the ridiculous news stories that come out there. But we're going to play the intro and then we'll be back.
We'll see you on the other side.
Why is it like this? The haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like this? Instead of haters should be loved, we invited. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous.
Okay, I need to tell you about Corey. What are you pointing at?
Is the mic been unmuted?
Yes, it's that one.
That's good.
Appreciate you though. Always correct me because we know
I'm always checking just in case.
Okay, so I'm just checking there's nothing strange on this screen. I hate the Daily Mail. I really didn't want to have to go to them for this, but it was the best one I could find. So last week, if you saw the funny video with Corey, who is logged into a Zoom call session, and as the session starts, he turns up on his camera driving. Now on Corey's record, it says that he is a suspended driver. His license has been suspended, and the judge can't make head or tail of it. He's in disbelief, right?
It sounds like, why would he do that?
I don't understand why he'd do that.
Yeah. He just says he's going into his doctor's office though, which I assume was his excuse of it's an emergency. That's
right, yeah. So from what I heard, the first reason I saw this is because he spoke to someone. He said, someone asked him, what were you thinking? He was like, what I was thinking was getting help for my wife, my sick wife.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, a supposedly suspended driver mocked online. It says mocked.
We didn't mock him.
Mock him. We love him.
Shocked online viewers.
Yeah, I'm chronically online brained. I love it for stuff like this. Corey Harris, 44. See, we knew this name thanks to Mark before. Revealed the monumental mix-up 2 weeks after the virtual May 15th hearing on the October traffic stop. Suburban Michigan went viral. Judge Cedric Simpson expressed disbelief after Harris, a prominent member of the Ann Arbor community, appeared to be driving when appeared at the viral court session. However, Harris told Detroit News the order to halt his license was actually rescinded in January 22, but never forwarded to the necessary authorities. So this man's suspended license was not actually a problem.
Yes, it'd been reinstated or
It's
whatever.
the system that's not completely up to date. So when you see him looking at the screen, being like, I this whole time just assumed he is like, oh no, I messed up. What do I do? Because he starts like talking. It's like just. It seems when you know this information, you realize he's trying to say like, guys, you've got that wrong. And every time he tries, they muted him.
Oh, okay.
He was like, you've said enough, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's saying, are you driving? So maybe I don't understand something, driving without a license. So just it baffles me that we need to apologise.
So
he deserves redemption.
Yeah, so it wasn't a daft thing to do because he hadn't got his. Well, the only daft thing to do was that in the UK it is illegal to be on your phone while driving.
Yeah.
So that in itself, you know,
that would have been
you're in a court of law, pull your car over. But obviously, he was trying because when he said, "I'm just pulling into my doctor's office," straight away I thought, "Oh, so he's playing the card that." It's an emergency. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That's why I'm doing what. Yeah,
but clearly it was an emergency.
It was flagged that you shouldn't have been driving, but that flagging was not okay. And also, this lawyer, if you remember, when she comes in, she's like trying to say something, and he says no. He's saying that and it's because she was trying to say it's not about that right now.
Okay,
like, but that is she's trying to say like, can we get this extended or something for another?
Yeah,
something else that he's basically being brought to court for. I don't fully understand what he was brought to court for in the first place.
Well,
but this look here, where I thought where he was like, "Oh damn, like I'm an idiot." He's actually like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, like I'm being set up almost. You'd just be losing patience and trust in the justice system at this point.
Yeah, and he's looking after his sick wife at that point as well. So he's.
We are sorry, Cora. Accept our apologies on behalf of the justice system. They're supposed to be looking out for people.
Yeah, we didn't think it would be this early in our career that we'd be making a YouTuber apology, but we do want to extend our condolences, our deepest apologies to Corey Harris, and we hope that this is all sorted and they buy you a new car.
Indeed, that's what you should put forward. You deserve compensation. Take it to Judge Judy; she'll sort you out.
I was about to say, check out a bit of payment.
So today's topic, as promised from last week.
Before we get into that though, there is this month's resolutions hanging on the table. I'm too excited because this month I actually did mine. I've been roller skating.
Ah, yes.
So
you mean like May's resolutions, or
this is May's? Yeah. So we reflect on May's and then look at June's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am way more confident in my skating. I absolutely love doing it.
I'll vouch for that. Seeing you at the U Club, you looked really loads more confident.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's just remembering that when you first put them on, or at least for me at the minute, the first 15-20 minutes is just like getting my balance. But the last time me and Kat went and skated, it was actually a cardio workout. By the end of it, I was like sore.
Yeah.
I was like, so much of the time was spent actually skating fast and like actually trying that. It's hard to get that feeling in the first few times you skate because you're like, I'm not really skating that far or doing that much. I'm just trying to not fall over.
Yeah. So
once it gets into that, and it's cool, it's kind of showing me like, okay, I can stick to stuff. It needs to be appealing to me. It needs to be a little bit more fun. But that's a good starting point, right? If I want to make anything else happen more, be more disciplined about other things in my life, add a bit of fun to it, see if that sticks.
And it's good in terms of physical exercise. Kind of quite often people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym though, but it's like, well, you can go skating.
Yeah.
You know, it's a completely different twist on, because it's fun, you're learning a new skill, and it's really good for you.
I learned a really good ADHD hack while I was doing it as well.
Oh yeah.
Narrate yourself.
I narrate every part of my life as I go along anyway.
Narrate every part. Literally. I'm going to look outside now. What's the weather like? Okay, the weather is good. Let's go and skate. and I'm already sat on the sofa by that point. So I say, right, stand up. Let's stand up now. And as I'm saying it, it like kind of makes you do it. You're like, oh, look, I'm doing it. Now I'm going to put my skates on. I'm going to do, I've not put my skates on. I'm going to drive somewhere to put my skates on. But
Yeah.
it's just a nice little, like, because you sit there and you're like, and you go through all the plan and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
The time's getting on. I
Happen.
could easily convince myself not to do it. So,
Well, congratulations.
yeah, it's been fun.
And
Enjoyed it.
what are you doing? Are you continuing that for June's then? Is that the plan?
Just for the rest of the year, I suppose.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
from now on, I suppose that will be my
Focus.
yeah. I think so.
Awesome.
It's weird. Like before I did it, before we were ordering the skates, I was like, "What am I doing? I'm 32, trying to get into skating," and now I'm like doing it and watching people on YouTube skate and all these different things, and I'm like, "Wait, people my age and older have been doing this whole time." This preconception of like why I shouldn't do something. Like watch how much you don't understand your previous self saying that.
Yeah.
Once you're into it, so yeah.
There's definitely that element of, oh, I wish I'd started this when I was younger. Like
Yes.
I felt like that earlier. Like I was out and I was looking for mugwort because I want to do some cleansing with some plants that grow in my area, and I was thinking, oh, I wish I'd like got into foraging when I was younger, but it's like, well, what it's that live in the moment again though.
Exactly.
Like came back into play straight away just because I was like, but you're into it now and you're enjoying it now, and
Precisely.
you know it doesn't matter that you weren't into it when you because you're doing it now.
It's quite easy to psych ourselves out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
So as for my next month, I don't really know. Yeah, listen to yours. Maybe I can get a bit of inspiration.
But I actually failed my May one, so
You're strong.
yeah. So I've been getting like this getting stronger thing's been continuing. So each month I've almost been building on the same resolution, if you see what I mean. So January breathwork, February was sleeping outside, and the marathon.
Yep.
But yeah, by March it had got to doing pull-ups, doing the 20-minute walk, and then April was a sound bath. May, I was like, right, I'm going to go a week without my chocolate or my jam tarts in the evening.
Oh my god, I remember now.
And I didn't do it. Last night.
Something she can't quit.
Yeah. Last night was the first night that I went without chocolate or a jam tart. So I did it last night. It's the first night that I managed to do it. So
are you rolling it on again then?
yeah.
Gonna start trying this one again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start trying it again. And I also went for a run earlier, which again, it's been in my diary for at least 6 weeks to go for a run. So I am feeling like a new woman. I'm like, check me out. I didn't have a jam tart last night and I went for a run today. That is it. I've conquered that.
You must feel
Completed
like
it.
3 dress sizes smaller.
Already.
Like
Did
10
you hear
times prettier. Like I know
you
how.
hear me weighing myself when I use the bathroom. But just out of interest, because when I gave up drinking, I lost quite a lot of weight. Then I gave up smoking and put it back on. So it's like, you know, I wanted to know what my weight's at. And then, yeah, I am going to cut down on the jam tarts and the chocolate.
That's so interesting you said that though, like, because we're doing these throughout, like, this idea that you have to pick a new one for every month. Which you don't, you can pick the same. Like,
To be fair, I am trying to complete the whole grid. So it does really get you thinking. Because you're like, okay, how can, so a week without something was the a week without chocolate, which I've not achieved. But at least I was aware of it and I was trying.
Give yourself another go if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like, oh, well, I can never quit chocolate now.
Yeah. And I think almost thinking about it for the whole month has meant that June started and I'm ready. I'm like on a level, you know.
That's when you're good at doing stuff, isn't it? When you've prepared for the start date.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm this month I'll be doing the chocolate and adding the running to make up for May's failure.
Wow. See, mine are always to do with like trying to keep me more disciplined on time, and I'll maybe put up with it, or like I'll do it throughout that week, or struggle. But then after that, it just kind of teeters off. So I'm trying to think of something that's a bit more. Maybe I can get some inspiration from the chat. Alexa says my goal for this month is to tattoo a portrait of a person.
Oh wow.
So cool. Will you be tattooing this onto someone? Do you do this of yourself?
I think I remember you saying now actually that you were practicing the tattooing stuff. That is wicked.
No.
Yeah. Girl, follow that avenue for sure.
She did it. Show my
Yeah,
hairy legs.
this one,
Oh.
can't see. Oh, there we go. Is it the owl? Was that your?
I did that one. I did. I'm just exposing
go.
my hairy legs now.
You can't see them on the camera thing over there. In the rose.
There's a rose.
Very cool. Yeah, maybe don't tattoo yourself just yet. Don't be getting it from us that like, yeah, like
little ones.
Steph said it was fun.
On my ankle, it's just full of tiny little ones from when I was teaching yourself. Because I know it's terrifying. And I definitely don't want your parents finding out that I said any of this. But learning on yourself does give you a really good idea of how deep you should go.
Yeah.
But parents of Alexi, do not listen to me. Obviously, always do what your parents say. That fake skin is good if you can get pig's ear skin from the butchers. That's even better. But you know all this. All this.
It's making me smile actually because Steph asked for inspiration, and you're saying about tattooing. I'm like, is that what that's what your goal's gonna be?
Wait, do I get my kit out? Do I get my tattoo machine out?
Go.
James, I can hear messaging me like, no.
And then Melissa's saying that her goal for this month is to have a healthier diet, and so far it's going great. So well done. We're kind of on the same path there.
Yes,
healthier diet and this is the thing. It's about feeling stronger and healthier, isn't it? It's not about we're not doing this for how we look. We're doing it because we want our bodies to feel good.
I've just seen Go Steph from Lou as well. I didn't see that at the time. Thanks,
cheers. Yeah.
But yeah, healthier diet and discipline. I'm always trying to like that good list. So no takeaways. I'm so glad I got one last night.
I've actually barely had any takeaways. I realised the other week when I had a takeaway, it made me realise how long it had been since I've not had one.
I can justify not having one for a long time. Then every so often I'm like, at least once, twice a week, I'm like, oh, I deserve one. It's not good. It's not helpful. So I'm going to go the entire month from the 5th until the 5th of next month because I had one last night.
Oh, maybe that could be your goal then, a month without takeaways.
Month without takeaway.
It's a really cool one.
Thank you for that. Melise, I will...
So what have we got?
What does it say? Can you read?
I struggle with consistency, but my best tip is that I don't overdo it. If you overdo something for so long, you'll be less likely to stick with it. Just take your goals easy. Absolutely, I think that is a top tip there, because with ADHD, we can go all in, focusing on something, and then fall off the wagon just like that, and it's over and done with.
Like that song that you really like, and you play it over and over and over, and suddenly you're like, I can't stand this song, I wonder why. It's like, oh, maybe you've played it enough.
And that actually leads us really nicely into the topic.
Compassion, focus, therapy. Okay, yeah, so last week, we were talking about attachment in a very rushed way because I hadn't fully sorted it out.
No, but I thought it was a really useful episode, though. I think we covered so much.
I think I had fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Actually make this available for you to see. I love talking about stuff like this. This is where I come into my own, I suppose. So for anyone that doesn't understand or know this about me, when you start a sentence, I don't know where it's going to go, but I've got it. So if you don't know me, I'm Steph. My background is in psychotherapy, and although I consider my toolbox of therapeutic tools to be very integrative, like take from loads of different modalities, my main modality that I subscribe to is compassion-focused therapy. Oh, there's some more in the chat.
I know, I'm just having a look. It's really nice. So Lou's going to pick up her gratitudes again. I did sit journaling gratitudes the other night, actually, and it really makes you feel good.
That's a really good one, and that's also a technique that we use in compassion-focused therapy, so that ties in really well.
And Alexi did a successful tattoo of a dragon the other day and was super proud. Tattooing is hard, but when you get it right, it's so worth it.
Congratulations.
That is amazing, and I'll let you experiment on me one day.
Yeah, same. You can. I've already screwed my legs up. You can carry on.
Well, it sounds like she's already got a level of skill going on.
So you may be doing better than anything I've scratched onto my legs. So, why is compassion? People saying like it's a little bit of a soft word, right? What are you going to do with compassion? How is that going to solve anything? Well, the goal of this tiny little, there's so much to this, but I've just tried to condense down a small presentation of why it's important for you. So, it's important for us to develop this compassionate self and being able to show others compassion because we are very similar. We are all from the same species. We all experience these same three things, and this is what we subscribe to. Our minds have evolved in a way that makes our brains very tricky. We are naturally vulnerable to getting caught up in thinking and feeling loops, which we'll see how our old brain and new brain interact with each other. Another one is that we are shaped by our experiences. We cannot help any of these. These are not our fault. They basically make up who we are today throughout our whole life. Third is that we have three core emotion systems that evolve to serve important functions. There we go, demonetized. Which can easily get out of balance. So, evolving as humans, we are so complex and we've done some amazing things. But it's also a little bit of a negative sometimes.
Right.
We can use our brains and our very capable minds of doing terrible things.
And they can trick us.
Yes.
Like, you can think, oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm actually terrified. Fight or flight's kicking in.
Imagine having a thought and then being like, oh, maybe that's not one I should follow. But it's in my own head. Like, how do you navigate this as a kid? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Mm.
So, fact, life sucks. There's no other way around it. Within ourselves, we have stress, we have our family, we have loved ones, we have work, we have illnesses, mental health issues, things that just negatively impact our day and our lives. Outside of that, we've got war, we've got famine.
That was what I was thinking.
We've got poverty, we've got governments waiting to literally sell you as cattle. We've got all this like life exterior stuff, but also sucks, right? So everywhere you look, sometimes it feels a bit overwhelming with real suckiness.
Yeah, and especially if you've got a passion towards something and you feel like you can't do anything to change it.
Exactly. It can be really, really frustrating. So it can be really annoying to always focus on these things, and we both suggest you don't focus on such negative things for too long of a time. It's not good for you. But we need to be able to acknowledge some of this suffering. We need to be able to acknowledge the nasty things in life, because we believe being able to gain that wisdom around why people suffer or why things happen allows you to be able to form that more compassionate self to understand why people do the things they do. So, life is hard. I'm going through my thing. We like this, by the way, and this is.
If someone tunes in now and they're just like, I thought you guys were positive. Life sucks.
Oh yeah, life sucks, but don't worry. There's stuff you can do about this. Oh, you pointed it there. Pointing that. Oh wait, you did it the wrong way. See where's the next thing? So, the definition to compassion always helps me understand why this is useful. So compassion is to acknowledge the pain and suffering that inevitably happens in the world, and it's having the wisdom and courage to try to relieve it. Now, wisdom and courage are two really key words. Wisdom is important because it literally provides us that willing to be wise to understand. So when Lindsay's going off about this conspiracy theory and that conspiracy theory, it really isn't helpful for me to sit in front of her and go, are you nuts? What are you talking about? I can understand that she has a brain that really likes stuff that's interesting. She loves her witchcraft. She loves visually pleasing stuff. She understands that the government is not telling the truth. She understands that there's way more to this planet than what she's fed through education. Because she's a teacher herself, she's experienced life. It would be really useless if I sit in front of her and go, I don't believe in it. No. Instead, I understand why she believes these certain things. And I also can understand why I would be against them. And it doesn't mean that I know everything. For me to sit there and be like, you'd be so much better off if you thought like me. Hey, I am me. I think like me. I don't feel better. When I look at Lindsay's life, she seems like she gets a lot more done. She seems a lot more jolly. It's at least outwardly showing.
Yeah. But I am far more compassionate towards myself. So these days, and I think more than most as well. So that's probably where my happiness comes from.
If you can naturally foster this self-compassion, or you've been shown to do it through experiences as you're younger, then it will come a lot more easy to you. If your neurodivergence has caused you to get a lot of negative talk from people that you're teaching you, a lot of discipline, a lot of like, you did that wrong, and oh, how did you do that wrong again? You hear it a lot more often, so it's harder to relieve that negative self-image.
It's definitely it's that kind of like, if somebody is being, so I've had trolls recently, like people that put nasty things. If somebody is being mean to you, compassion is being able to think they've clearly got something going on in their life that's causing them to react that way.
Yeah,
100%. That's like a compassionate way to view people and the world.
Yes, I'm using my wisdom to be wise about their situation. And then the courage to try to relieve it. That's where the next part comes in.
Yeah. And that's me not reacting and giving them back exactly the same energy they're giving me, and thinking and saying, I hope you find the healing that you deserve.
But it is me reacting, saying, do not comment on this page anymore, because we don't agree with the way that this is. As long as you're not feeding into it and trying to get more, then fine. We're understanding that this, because we think of compassion as like love and like, oh, kindness, and even on this thumbnail there's like pictures of hands and hearts, and like, it's not about that. Compassion would probably help you like, oh, it's all right, mate, don't worry about it, just keep like, and it doesn't help anyone. A really good explanation is a burning building. Your loved ones in there, love will make you run into a burning building without thinking about it, trying to help them yourselves, despite not being trained in fire safety. This compassion allows you to understand that, okay, I need the wisdom to know that I can't do this, and I have the courage to be able to stand back and be like, it's not my ego, I need to call for a viral. It's someone that can help. You acknowledge the suffering, you have the wisdom, and you've got the courage. So why do we feel pain? Physiologically, if you were to fall off your bike, you feel pain because you've just scraped it, you've broken your arm. It helps you to if you feel pain, then obviously you fell off your bike and you broke it. But for compassion to work, we look at what happens behind the scenes. So also understanding that our brain emotions and things that happen in our old brain is, we have evolved to feel pain because we need to be able to understand that something has gone too far and it needs medical assistance, or that we need to slow down. So that pain is a signal to us. It might not be very useful to us, but it kind of helps us. It would help our tribe understand, this person can't go any further. We need to, put resources in different avenues.
And heartbreak pain stimulates the same area as physical pain, right? So when you're feeling pain because you fell out with somebody, that is real. Like that pain is a physical reality. It's not something that you're just making up.
You'll see how, I think it'd be in the next one, how the old brain and the new brain are very much that. So the new brain is really evolved, and it's capable of all these, like, Mozart's symphonies to medical advances, everything that we've been able to positively do in the brain. Unfortunately, the old brain is full of this is your core emotions. This is your I haven't got them written down. Basic motives. So that would be to survive, to have sex, to reproduce, and status. And this helps you to gain attachment and being able to care for your offspring. As well as that, you've got defense behaviors and basic emotions. What happens is these two don't really communicate very well. So the new brain you experience heartache. The new brain is like, oh my God, what will I ever do with my life? From that, the old brain gets all the reactions and the emotions, and that's what starts making your heart physically hurt.
Yeah.
It's what makes you physically break down in tears. It's what makes you upset. And this will then feed back to the new brain, and so your new brain thinks like, I'll never not feel this hurt again.
Yeah, yeah.
I will always be this heartbroken, and then from that you'll start to cry and become depressed. That is the physiological symptoms. And from being depressed, you will go up here and think, I'm not worthy. I'll never find anyone. This interaction is BS. The way we humans have evolved, not only to feel pain, because apparently it's a necessary function. This is a really unnecessary function. Sometimes it helps.
Is that feeling thought loop that you said about?
100%.
Yeah, so you're feeling something, you think something, you're feeling something, you think
you get stuck in it, right? So an example is we've got a dude called John. He goes to work, and all day at work, his boss is just nasty to him. He's puts him down. He's a bit abusive. Meanwhile, his colleagues are also really competitive. They're really not supportive. So he can understand that. He's thinking, I don't really like this job. I want to get out of here. Reinforcing that as his body. When he goes to work, he's tense. He's anxious. He's angry. So this reinforces to the old brain. Oh, listen. Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to think of.
Yeah,
you can think of an example in your life where you do this.
Well, I'm thinking about when you know that you've got emails that you've got to conquer, and you're feeling sick and anxious because you don't want to do them, and then your new brain's in a mad panic, like it's going to take forever and there's no point, and
it's going to take forever, and then you've got that adrenaline, right?
Yeah, and then it's like, I'm never going to get out of this cycle, the business is never going to be successful because I can't even answer a few emails, and then the old brain's like making you feel even worse about it.
Exactly. Whatever you think in this new brain, the old brain cannot tell if it's real or not. If I start thinking about a hamburger, my brain will get as hungry as if it was sat right in front of me. And that's annoying, right? That's not helpful in life.
In the anxiety booklet, I've spoke about that. The fact that we've almost got this guard dog that's in our brain, and it's like it'll bark when it thinks that we're at risk or at risk of danger. But just like a guard dog, sometimes it gets spooked over something that's not real danger. But you've got to then use your new brain to kind of decipher between whether it's a genuine.
We decide for our dogs what's good and what's bad.
Sometimes right? They read it from us. Pat barking. It's just a bump or whatever. It's just next door. It's nothing to bark about. So you've almost got to do that with your anxiety sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a story where there's a guy clapping, and he claps all day long, and there's a little boy, and he says, why do you do that? Why are you clapping? And he's like, it keeps the tigers away. And he's like, but there are no tigers. And he's like, exactly. And it's like, is it because he's clapping all the time that there's no tigers, or were there no tigers to begin with and he's wasted his whole life clapping to keep them away?
It's interesting, right? It's I think it's what keeps a lot of people addicted to things.
Yeah, feeling safe. Gambling. It's almost this. It's not real safety.
Yeah,
like quite often as well. Recently, I've been feeling like if you're not living in a kind of mild state of terror, you're not living at all. Just because we kind of crave this safety, but safety is quite often a trick almost. That's just sitting in your living room and not leaving. But that's not where the growth's going to happen. That's not where your dreams are going to develop.
It makes so much sense. So yeah, this new brain, this is capable of you're thinking, you're imagining, you're planning, you're reflecting. When you think of a time when this has affected your old brain, so the old brain, remember, is the basic instincts, joy, anger, it's the feelings, it's the fright. If you were to go into that heartbreak thing again, this is the thoughts, this is the bodily feelings. I feel like I might have already asked you actually, and you did say.
Yeah, but I was saying about the emails when I was like a really really basic one.
There's a reason I'm not a lecturer. The thing is, so
you keep reading it as Brian. Sorry,
Brian. Wait, have I put that note?
No, you haven't. But I keep reading it as that. Like, and on Family Guy, there is new Brian. Brian.
Oh yeah. Oh, that episode where Brian died. That's such a sad episode.
It is. It's funny.
This old part of our brain is around 200 million years old. It's real old-fashioned. If you think boomers are old, right? There's no decent understanding there. But do you remember, because I've talked about this before, and I used the example of the gazelle being chased by the tiger.
Yeah.
That is where we differ from animals, because all that blue brainers are initially thinking is drinking this water. This is nice drinking water. I wonder when I'll get some more. Oh no, they don't think that. They're just now, here and now, water. And then they will sense. So, old brain gets the sense that there's something about. That will kick in its emotions. Oh, and it's detecting a threat, which will make it. That's when you have the reactions, right? The flight or fright, freeze. From that, the new brain is thinking, okay, I need to get away, which will make it go faster. That just makes its legs go faster. There's no part in this thing where it's like, I won't be able to, and it makes going slower, and then it trips because it's, too conscious of what it's doing. As soon as the tiger, if it doesn't catch it, the tiger runs away, this new brain just goes, right, new water.
Yeah, it just kind of goes, it doesn't start reflecting on all the times that's happened before, and
exactly
the future that I might not have gone on to have kids with my wife.
Exactly, because that's what happens, right? If that was us, if you think of it as tiger teacher running after us, then it leaves
a near miss,
then your body does not return to its normal base state of relaxation like an animal does. It will maintain that high threat level, that stimulation. And it will start being like, oh my God, it's going to come back. We need to get, It's so fascinating. Love it. So yeah, these old loops are really difficult to get. Not difficult to sort out. But I'm hoping that through being able to explain this to you, that you might be able to identify them more in your own.
Snap yourself out of them a little bit. And that's what we mean about awareness. Like, the minute I became aware that I was giving other people a lot of leeway and understanding, but not myself. So say if I was like, I write lists and I'm always trying to be really productive.
Yes.
It gets to the end of the day and I've done 4 out of the 10 things on my list. Now, instead of me having the awareness that that was me putting too many things on my list in the first place, having a bit of time blindness and not realising how long everything takes, I would then be like, oh, you're never going to amount to anything. You couldn't even complete all the things on your list. That's not helpful. It's not compassionate. And the way that I got through that was by growing my awareness that what you've got to focus on is the 4 things you did do, and be like, yeah, well done, you were so productive today and effective, you did those 4 things, realising I was putting too many things on my list in the first place. I don't know, it's just that change of perspective.
That's the wisdom, right?
Yeah.
You are getting an understanding. Why is this going wrong? I'm losing knowledge to actually find this out.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, it's not just compassion towards yourself, it's compassion towards other people and allowing yourself to receive it from other people.
Yes, it's that 3 flow, isn't it? And you probably find that you're way easier at one of them than the other.
So it's like, I'll give out, I'm really like, oh, well, they shouted at me because they're under a lot of pressure. But then if I mess up, I'm like, you're an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm just under a lot of pressure. So it's applying the same amount of compassion to myself as I do to other people.
Exactly. So I'll send you away with a few reflection notes that you can, if you've got time to write these down, pause it now if it's easy to get a pen. But these are things for you to reflect on. So your new brain's competencies and your old brain's competencies. So your new brain's is going to be your worries, your ruminations, the self-criticism that you give yourself. Think of all these negative self-talk that you give to yourself regularly. And on the other side, look at the old brain's competencies, the emotions, the defensiveness, the behaviours. How do you act? If you've done CBT, then you'll understand this as a thoughts and feelings. How do they marry up?
When I just say competencies, by saying competencies, we mean things that it's good at, right? Because I'm just thinking that's like big words to be using.
But not thinking that what your brain is doing is good. It's just it does this really well.
What it's doing naturally.
What your old brain does really well is worry, ruminate, plan nasty things. Maybe lashes out. You've got your defense mechanisms, but then your old brain competencies, you've also got what it does really well at. So the emotions, the defense. Maybe you're really, I don't know, happy a lot, and you struggle to identify other people. Not everything is necessarily a negative that the brain does.
Yeah.
Or can you see as that? But we're trying to look at these ways that they stress you out, right? Because it's these things that get you in a. There's no like good things that the brain or the old brain does that gets you in this loop.
Yeah,
It's the strong things that they're really good at that get in your way. That aren't good for you. Look at these loops and try and work out, how are they playing out in your life? What kind of, can you think of 3 areas, whether it's work, relationships, where you can think of a specific time that this has happened?
So can this be, I'm just thinking like along the lines of, especially with ADHDers, they always feel like I'm wasting time, I'm not doing enough, and they're quite harsh on themselves because they need to be productive all of the time, and else it's wasted, and you end up burning yourself out.
Yeah, creating that task paralysis.
Yeah, and is that a kind of loop that you can get yourself into then? Thinking to yourself, like, I need to do more, because if I don't do more, I'm not going to be a success. If I'm not a success, I'm going to be stuck in this job forever, and before you know it, you're like, oh, I'm going to have a panic attack.
And that's why a lot of people say, like, just stand up, just do that first thing.
Yeah.
Physically move your old brain, because you're getting sensations sent to the body that your brain can't signify the difference. So hack that. Okay, get up, get in a different environment,
change rooms,
yourself up.
Yeah,
completely give yourself a whole new outlook and feeling, and see how that new brain responds. Oh, I don't want to go out. Stand up, put your shoes on. Suddenly, I could go out.
Yeah.
And that is just a really simple change that the old brain and the new brain, if you could understand them, how that can offer it.
Mine's turning my laptop on as well. So in the half term, can't remember why I'd sat down at my laptop for whatever reason, but before I knew it, I'd done all these different jobs that I like kind of, if I'd been sat there thinking what I need to do, I wouldn't have thought of them. But just by getting on my laptop and starting opening up tabs and like getting onto my emails and following, it was almost like going down a few kind of rabbit holes, but felt so like I've just tied up so many loose ends kind of thing.
It's really strange because we're not very good at the ADHD brain. When you think you've got a big task ahead of you, it's so easy to be like, oh my god, I can't do this. Yeah. And then your heart starts going. You get, it's like John at work. He don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the reason John doesn't quit his job is because he realises that he also wants to be successful in that job, and specifically in that role, until he can leave there. So he makes himself a little more submissive to the people that he works with. He kind of accepts the BS that's coming down for him from his boss and just gets on with it. Do you see what I mean? So he's understanding that they've got these emotions, but I'm not gonna let it bother me.
It's like with you putting your skates on and just getting out.
Exactly.
And me getting my trainers on early, just going for that run. It's like, once you're out there doing it, it's actually okay.
You get stuck sat there thinking, oh, but this, and then I need to do that. And the ADHD brain, on top of this old new brain thing, is already 10 times more difficult. So yeah, just be kinder to yourself. We'll use another episode to go through the ways that you can use compassion as techniques, but you already use them. Lou mentioned one at the start, the gratitudes, journaling, soothing rhythm breathing is another one, where I know if you talk to Grace, she'll talk about all these different breathing patterns. For compassion focused therapy, all they want is for you to breathe at your natural, whatever feels nice for you. So for me, it's maybe in for 3, maybe out for about 5, but not trying to keep yourself to a certain thing, just breathing in and out as you can empty and fill your lungs, basically, whatever feels more comfortable to you. Just be mindful of that, and every time your brain goes off, like meditation, bring it to the breathing. We talked about the compassionate space, imagining your own compassionate space that you can disappear to.
Yeah.
So again, while you're meditating, your safe place, 100%. And that's the first time I've said 100% in this whole episode. So I think that's time to end it. I think that's all.
So we need to mention one of our
Patreon of the week.
Yes.
I want a jingle for that. Someone clip this. Patreon of the week.
You can just do it every time we're gonna.
Okay. I do that.
So our Patreon of the week is going to be Sarah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out, Sarah. Thank you for supporting us.
I should have said Saz as well. We used to call her Saz. When
Oh, Saz.
yeah, when I was at school.
She's from Leicester.
Yeah.
Oh, Saz.
Yeah, well,
Shout out, girl.
one of my primary childhood friends, but not seen her for a long time. But it's really nice because I know that she watches and follows what
That's so
I'm doing, so it's really nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, this compassion podcast was all dedicated to you, our lovely Patreon.
Brought to you by Patreon of the Week. Forgot the tune. I know. Just waiting to clip it because I'm not gonna remember the tune.
Yeah, next week we'll be like, what was it again?
Because we're autistic.
Oh, that was a great one. Like every time we do something, because we're autistic. I shared something earlier. It's like I can concentrate a lot more on what you're saying if I don't look into your eyes, and that is the truth.
I thought of that earlier. I was watching an old Vanderpump Rules where some girl was being annoying, to be fair, and her mate's like trying to talk to her, and she just goes, "Look at her." Talk, not even say, not even look at me when I'm talking to you. A third person in the conversation says, "Look at her." Like that's and just like if someone did that to me, I'd leave.
Yeah, because it'd be like, what? Like, I'm
right,
listening.
It's alright, someone being like, I just find it weird. Hey, you look at her. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Servant. I'm master. Yes.
But if you want to hear your name shouted out, have a whole episode dedicated to you, get over onto our Patreons. There's loads of really cool benefits, including a monthly prize draw, which we drew last week, and for just the £5 a month one, you get a monthly delivery of exclusive art and a poem created by us, which is
we might send you this at some point.
Yeah.
We've had enough.
Which is such good value because, you know, where else can you get a subscription, which is technically what it is. We're asking for you to pledge to us, but you actually get so much in return as well. Never mind just the pride of supporting such a wonderful cause, because we offer all these free guides for people to download off of our site.
It's pretty cool, right? We're kind of like Mother Teresa ×2.
Exactly. We are just natural light workers bringing light to this earth.
What's believe that for?
We're shining our compassion. Whether we're light workers or whether we are compassion focused therapists, it's the same thing.
We're all doing the same thing. So hug your fellow ADHDer.
Yes.
Probably struggling.
Send them our way. Get them to watch this and then they'll realise how much they're not struggling.
I thought you meant like send the hugs our way. I was like, yeah, I will actually take this. No, don't show up.
We'll have to do the experiment where it's like free hugs and see how many people come over. I hate that, but
You could do it at the festival.
yeah.
We are going to be at different festivals this week. Maybe she would announce it next week.
Yeah. No, we will. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be at our first one, so we'll talk about it a bit closer to the time. And the different resolution booklets are on the website, so feel free to head over. It's not too late to get involved.
Yeah, please do. You don't need to start any of these on January 1st.
No, exactly. If you've got beliefs like me, then the year starts in March, so you know.
I believe that too now.
Yeah, it's much better than starting in January.
It really is. I'm not ready for the new year by January.
No.
I think I might follow you there. So it's been an awesome episode. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
This is Lindsay.
This is Steph.
We're a different human design.
And this is a different podcast. Good night.
Why is it like this? Instead of hate, it should be love, we invite it. You don't agree, then you're the problem that we're fighting. Open up your mind, stand up, become righteous. Why is it like